What's up? My name is Tim Sykes. That's my car. Come on in. So I wanted to give you a little glimpse of my lifestyle. You know, I work hard, I live well, and what you should know about me is that I like to go big. This is a big house. Sometimes I stay in big presidential suites. When you work hard and you make a lot of money, you know, you gotta go big. Yeah, okay, I'm done with that. Whoa! So let me show you where I actually spend most of my time. This is basically what I do all day. Just looking at stocks, researching stocks, and then teaching other people. Most traders lose money in this industry, but with a community of actual successful traders behind you, you can do a lot of things that never were before possible. So it's kind of my baby right here. I'm very proud of it. You know, it's not the normal 9 to 5. Sometimes I'm working 10 hours in the day. Some days I don't even work. So it doesn't matter where I am. All I need is the internet, and I can work from anywhere in the world. I mean, I've been doing this for nearly 2 decades now. I got started when I was young. I've reached all my goals, and I'm not afraid to show it off. You know, once you make it, you should show it off. But I'm never stopping challenging myself. I'm always looking for more students. I'm looking to create more millionaires so that more people can have views like this. This is why I love this place, okay? Just look at this, you know? Financial freedom is the goal for everybody, and it should be, because once you have that, you can do whatever you want. You can travel the world, you can get big places like this. That should be your goal so that you can really, really focus on what you love in life and not work for somebody that you hate. Thank you guys for coming over. I'm glad you got to see a little bit of the way that I live, the way that I work, and you know, some of the fun that you can have when you work hard. See you later. Welcome to my latest little teaching episode here. I've got 2 NBA greats, Jim Jackson, Katino Mobley. They're joining us, and we're gonna talk about penny stocks because, frankly, I think there's a lot of opportunity here. Not Wolf of Wall Street bullshit, but actually, you know, trading the volatility up and down. So you were sending me pictures of E-Trade the other night. Did you get that open yet?
I did, but my darn username wouldn't work.
He'd take his medicine. He'd take his medicine.
It's all right. We'll get to that. I use E-Trade. It's just a basic brokerage. You just want some simple tool. You know, your broker is your weapon. Like, you know, in basketball, like you need like good shoes. Well, I guess you don't really need good shoes. In order to do a stock trade, you need a broker. I hate fucking brokers, I hate them all, but you need them. So I use E-Trade, it's simple. So right here we're looking at 2 stocks, GSI and EARS. With penny stocks, what you're gonna learn is that the companies don't matter. I know most people wanna invest in Google and Facebook and Apple, good products, worldwide revenue. With penny stocks, I don't give a shit. I'm trading the volatility. It's almost like the Vegas version of the stock market. A lot of people think that it's random, it's manipulated, you can't predict it. That's bullshit. You can predict it. So right now, this is one of the biggest winners of the past few days. This is basically what I do. I look at chart patterns all day long. Since GSI, the company doesn't matter, throw that out there. You don't need to know about finance. You don't need to know about revenues or profits or earnings per share or different biotech technologies and stuff like that. Focus on the pattern. And this is the pattern that I love. So this is a 10-day chart. This is just bigcharts.com. It's a simple website. I'm always looking at charts. I don't post a lot of charts on like Instagram and stuff because they're boring and they're kind of technical, but this is what you live and die by. So this space in between here is when we just had a holiday, so the market took a day off. Otherwise, there would be, you know, every day. But this is what I love. This is, in 10 days, the stock went from 50 cents up to $5, now it's back down to $2. The value of the stock is the value of the company. So if the company is trading at 50 cents and then a few days later it's at $5 a share, the value of the company has increased 10 times, which is like, no stock ever deserves that unless they sign like a huge deal. This company did not sign a huge deal, so it doesn't deserve to go up 10 times. So you can actually short sell. So this is what I do. This is kind of like my claim to fame, I guess, where I short sell penny stocks. I bet against them. I bet on lower prices. I bet on failure. Most penny stocks are going to go absolutely bankrupt. Like this company, probably a year from now, what's today's date? I don't even have my phone number. January 7th, 2000, what? January 8th. It's been a rough holiday. So January 8th, 2015, GSI is at $1.91. By January 8th, 2017, this is probably going to drop 100%, maybe 90%. Almost every single penny stock fails. So that's the advantage that you have with these low price stocks versus big companies. You don't know if Apple's going to be like have an amazing new product, like if the iWatch is going to take off, which it didn't. I have 2 of them sitting in my closet, right? You don't know what company is going to make it or not. With penny stocks, you know the end game because they're almost all going to fail. That's not to say that they can't spike a lot before they fail, but you know the end game, and that's a huge, huge, huge advantage. So if you know the ending of the movie, you can kind of guess, how the characters got to that end point. With real companies, you don't know. Anything can go up or down. Microsoft can come back, Apple can fall, Facebook might become the next MySpace. Probably not, but it might happen. So with these, I just want you to get used to this kind of volatility, because imagine right now Facebook is at roughly $100 a share. So imagine if this were Facebook stock and it went up 10 times. That would mean that Facebook went from $100 to $1,000 in 5 days. Never going to happen. They're just not that volatile because Facebook might go, they might announce a big press release, might have good revenues or something, or a new product, and it'll go from 100 to 105. So it'll go up 5%, which is a lot for like a big company. But with small companies, maximum volatility. And I want to partake in that, and you can write it up too. Here is another example, EARS. So this is another penny stock. This is a 10-day chart, and it basically went from $4 up to $8, and now it's fading. I was betting against this actually last night at around $7 a share. I got out roughly break even because I'm trading with very small accounts this year, and I just want to protect it. I don't think we're going to have a good 2016. I was talking to you about this earlier. I think this is going to be a rough year, so I don't necessarily need to trade big right now. We've had a 7-year bull market. Sometimes you got to take your foot off the pedal. Like you don't need to go full on aggressive like, we're going to be in a bull market. Obviously, this is in America. We're probably going to do well over the long term, but we're going to have down years every now and then. I think this is one of them. EARS, again, this is a kind of shitty company, and you can tell how the company is based on the yearly chart. So I'm looking at, this is a 10-day chart, this is a 1-year chart. And over the year, like it just kind of gradually goes down, and then something happened here. So right now, this is January. This is a very unique time. Have you ever heard of the January effect? So with penny stocks, because most people don't trade them, these kind of strategies aren't very well known. But most penny stocks go down, and because of that, people need to take tax losses. If you have a loss on a stock, you can take that off your taxes. So if you earn like $50,000 and you lose $10,000 on a stock, you can take that $10,000 loss off your taxes so you pay less taxes. But you have to do it before year end. So this creates, in essence, a lot of selling in November and December. Because why take the loss in January or February? Take it in December, that way you can take it off your taxes in April. So December is the worst month statistically for penny stocks, especially when you're a beaten down company. So you can make the case that, this is October, November, December, all of this, the reason why, it was hanging around 450 all here, but the reason why it goes down to 350 and 3 is because people are taking tax loss selling. That creates the January effect opportunity where beaten down companies that aren't necessarily that bad can spike just because people who sold in December will buy them back in January just because it's the exact same company, but they've taken their tax loss and they still want a position. So January is a fun month for stocks, for penny stocks, because they can spike. This is kind of a January effect play where GSI is not necessarily a good company, but it's been beaten down so much. LEI is another one. Look at this chart. Oh. So in one day, it goes from $1 to $10 a share, and now it's back down to 4. But this is what I'm looking for.
Same day.
Same day. One day, this was 1 to 10. This was insane, okay? So many people in my chat room. My chat room is filled with roughly 1,000 traders. A lot of them, a lot of you are degenerate gamblers, so they just buy whatever's hot. And I'm trying to explain, like, this is a shit company, it won't hold its gains. They're like, shut up, just give me something to buy. That's basically their mentality. And I didn't buy this, but pretty much my entire chat room did. And they're buying it from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 2 to 4, something like that. Never hold the whole time. When you make a trade, and when I make a trade, I want you to go in, when you make a trade, I want you to go in with a plan. You know, you never just buy this stock, let's see how it does. That's what a lot of gamblers do. They don't have a plan, they hold, they hope. Sometimes they get lucky with this stuff. But the vast majority of time, you're not gonna have stocks that go from 1 to 10. So whenever there's a play, like, well, I guess I don't have it on this computer. I have software that scans for any stock that is heating up a little bit. So like before this went from 1 to 10 in one day, it was also up from 1 to 150. So it was up 50% in a few minutes. When a stock goes up 50% in a few minutes, it hits a lot of scans, a lot of technical scans, so you can see, wait a minute, this stock is rising. Because we know that it's January, it can rise even more. So this nearly 1,000% increase is ridiculous. We know this. But during the holidays, during the January effect season, ridiculous is good. So what I want you guys to do is open up accounts, small accounts, you know, a few $1,000s. You need to start testing different ideas. What kind of news is going to move a stock? What kind of plan can I make? Can I buy, let's say, 1,000 shares of this stock when it's rising, when it's already up 50%, you know, on the day, and think, okay, wait a minute, this could go up 100% or 200% or 300% during January. This is the easiest time of the year to start learning about stocks and trading stocks because this can happen only in January. February, March, April, I mean, they're good statistically, they're decent months, but January by far is the best month for penny stocks because of tax loss selling and because of stuff like this. I'll show you more examples. It's been a crazy few days, and mind you, this is all during the worst ever opening for the stock market. So even though the market as a whole is down 5% and everyone's like, oh, Apple is getting hurt, China's getting hurt, Japan's getting hurt, I don't care about any of that. I'm focused on individual plays like this. I usually only take one position at a time. So when people say, oh, what do you think the market's gonna do? Like, I humor them. I'm like, yeah, the market's doing this, but I'm really just interested in these kinds of companies. This is how I've made my money. This is how my millionaire students have made their money. Focusing on whatever is hot, trying to judge why it's hot and will it last. Here's SSN. This is an oil and gas company. Oil, if you know, is at multi-year lows. So SSN has been dead for, let's see, you can choose different time frames. This is SSN's chart. Does this look like a successful company? So it's gradually fading. And this is the kind of company that you want to bet against whenever it spikes. And this thing went literally up from 50 cents to $1.75. So a nice triple, and now it's right back down in a few days. E-Trade didn't have shares to short. This is where it gets a little complicated. Based on your broker, sometimes there's no shares to short, so you can't bet on it going down. Even if you know this stock is a scam, this stock is gonna drop, you can't do anything about it. In order to short sell, you have to have shares at your broker to borrow from. You're basically taking out a loan from your broker. Sometimes penny stocks actually are good companies. Not that they're gonna be like the next Facebook or the next Google or whatever, but they can survive and maybe go up from $1 or $2 or $3. So here's an example of a hot penny stock. This is Meet Me. So look at the difference between SSN and Meet Me. Do you see any difference in their one-year charts? This is straight down and this is straight up. So I'm a big, big believer of the chart is your best friend. You know, Meet Me, it's a social network. It's like a wannabe Facebook. They're kind of spammy. They have ads everywhere, but their business is doing better and better. So companies always report quarterly earnings 4 times a year. Here's my revenues, here's our profits. But Meet Me several times now has taken out the extra step of putting out an extra press release saying, hey, business is better than we expected, so we are upping our guidance. So companies can also kind of project their future earnings and future revenues, and they want to like tell you about it because obviously it's going to get you more interested. So in the past year, Meet Me has taken out, I want to say 5 of these press releases saying nothing huge, not that like revenue's like amazing, but it's up a few million more than we expected. Every time they do that, this stock reacts. Even though it's a gradually uptrending stock, I mean, this is over 3 months. I have trouble holding a stock for 3 hours. but I'm always thinking about what is the long-term chart. So the other day I was buying Meet Me. What was my entry price? $3.86 or something, $3.86. No, it was $3.68. I'm dyslexic. So $3.68. I got out like in the 380s. I made a few $100, but now it's $4.38. I have big time patience problems. So you have to recognize what your own disadvantages are. Do you guys have patience problems, or are you like extremely patient?
Well, I mean, it depends, right? Like when you're gambling, it's different.
Yeah.
But I have patience with my kids, so it's definitely different.
I talk fast, I think fast, I trade fast. I lived in New York.
Now, I remember you saying that early on with one of your guys in Colorado or something.
Tim Grattani.
Where he holds on a little longer than you want him to, but he you know.
So this is one of my most important rules. With this one, I bought it when they had a press release saying business is better than expected. So I bought it, I'm like, okay, now it should spike. It went up a little bit, but remember, the market is dropping pretty much every single day. There's a little known stat that's actually very useful. 3 out of 4 stocks follow the market. So your company can have the best news whatsoever, but if the overall market is down 2-3% like we've been doing every single day lately, chances are your company is going to be down too. So I'm thinking, okay, the market is collapsing all around this stock. I don't have a lot of patience. It's not spiking the way that I want. I got out too early. I still made like 20 cents a share, but now, another, 2 days later, it would have been 50 cents a share. So I'm not great with patience. You have to recognize what you're good at. When you start trading, you're going to learn. You're going to see, oh, okay, I'm cynical, so I prefer actually betting on failure. Maybe you guys are optimists, and you're like, no, this is a good company, let me buy it. So with longs, or stocks that I'm betting on higher prices, I'm very impatient, and I get out way too quickly. But I play it safely. This is rule number 1. Cut losses quickly, and get out of trades that aren't working whenever you're not comfortable. A lot of people say, oh, I'm scared of the stock market, I'm not comfortable. You choose your entry and exit. My name is Tim Sykes, and I teach people to trade stocks. I am a self-made multimillionaire. So this is the ideal trade that I'm going to talk about. I want you guys to understand every single aspect of this trade.